I'm Pragati from the Robotics Club of VIT, and in this video, you'll be learning how to code in the Arduino IDE. So let's get started. So we could divide our coding in the Arduino IDE in three main parts. First, the structure that you see right here opens up each time you open a new file. Second are the values, and third are the functions. So the structure consists of two functions, the setup function and the loop function. The setup function runs only once, while your loop function runs repeatedly, rather infinitely, and the code that goes into each of them also differs. So the setup function will include code like pin mode, serial begin, also include library functions, while your loop is going to be used to actively control your Arduino board. Now, the next part that are values. So, are of two types basically, variables and constants. And based on where they're declared in your code, they are divided into two categories, local and global. So, that is called as their scope, and locally would be in a particular function and that being accessible only to that particular function, while globally is above all the functions when you're declaring it above all functions and it's accessible to all the functions. So anywhere you change the value, it's going to change the value for that constant or variable everywhere. Now, the second thing that is related to values are data types. So we'll be understanding these six main data types. So starting from void, what void does basically is it's mainly used in function declaration as a return type. So it basically tells us that the function doesn't return anything. The next data type is Boolean. So each and every data type is going to be declared as such. The basic syntax is the data type. Then you have your variable name. And if you're initializing as well in the same line, then you equate it to your value and you end it with a semicolon. So this is the basic syntax for Boolean. The data type is BOOL. For char, int, float, and double, it's the same as what's written here. So Boolean can take two values, either true or false. But you have to remember that because the language that you're coding in is case sensitive, so your value that you put in each of them should have a small t or a small f. So if you given a capital T or a capital F, it's not going to consider it as a Boolean value. This is mainly used in wherever you need conditions, like in conditional operators or in if-else conditions. Then the next data type that we have char. Char has an interesting feature because it's stored in the memory as a number. That is the ASCII value corresponding to the literal that we are storing in the variable name. We can perform arithmetic operations on characters. So say for example, I have char var name 1 equal to, it's initialized using single quotes and the literal goes into it and you end it with a semicolon. So if I want, I can increment this variable by 1. This is the shorthand notation for it. This can also be written as this, and both of them basically mean that you have your var name equal to var name plus 1. So what this is going to do, the ASCII value for A is 97. It's going to increment it by 1 to 98, and then it's going to store that literal corresponding to this ASCII value in var name. That is the literal B. So B goes into the this variable var name. So I've been using the word variable each time. That's because if you do not mention over here if it's a constant or a variable, by default it's considered a variable. So the next data type that we're going to see is integer. So integer values lie in the range of negative 2 power 15 to positive 2 power 15 minus 1. These are the values that an integer value can take. So if I have integer var name equal to any number, it's going to get stored in a 2 byte as a 2 byte value in the memory. And the next data type that we have is float. So float basically gives extra precision because it's a floating point value, and the declaration is going to be the same. So say I just make it this way, you'll have to give a decimal point over here, it gives us an extra precision and it's stored as a 4-byte value. Double is no different from float, that is also stored as a 4-byte value. But in few of the Arduino boards like Arduino IDE, you will find double to be stored as an 8-byte value. So these are all about data types. And now let's have a simple small code. Let's try and make our Arduino LED blink so that it's perceivable to our eyes. So let's give an interval or a delay period of say 0.1 seconds. So let's start off by declaring a global variable. So const int, declaring a global constant, const int, and let's call the variable name pin, give it a number 13. Basically, this pin, I want it to output signals. So I want our code to send signals to our Arduino board so that it can output on this pin. To make our code understand that, or to make our Arduino understand that, we use this function called pin mode, where we write down the pin name, that's your variable name or constant name in this case, and then we have to mention that this is going to send output signals. Now I'll be using the serial monitor. So for that, I'll have to serial.begin. This basically tells us that this value, that's 9600, is our baud rate, and these many bits per second is going to be the frequency or the rate at which characters flow. Now, once these two are done, once we have completed stuff in the setup, let's go to the loop section and write our code, whatever we want the Arduino board to do. So we want it to stay on for a while. For that, I am going to digital write and digital write to the pin. And I'm going to say I want it to be high, but I want it for a certain amount of time, that is 0.1 second. So I'm just going to call delay function and give 100, which means 100 microseconds, which is equivalent to 0.1 seconds. Then I want it to blink, so I'll need it to also go low. And again, I want it to delay for 0.1 second. So why have I given these delay values is that if in case I do comment them, what's going to happen is your LED will blink so fast that it won't be perceivable to your eyes, and you'll end up just viewing a dimmer shade of the LED's high output. So for us to perceive it, we are going to leave it uncommented. And now that our code is ready, we are just going to upload it. So before that, you could just go to tools. Okay, now you'll need to save it as well. Go to tools, go to the Arduino Uno board and select the port, whichever it is that works for you. So once it compiles and runs, you will see this. So it's blinking with a 0.1 second interval between each high and each low. Alright, so you could find the link for this code in the description below. And if you have any doubts related to any of these codes or whatever we have discussed previously, you could leave it down in the comment section below. Otherwise, you could head over to our next video where we're going to make this code a little more interesting. We're also going to understand the concepts of operators, conditional statements, and loops. So that's all for this video. Thank you.